On the news at 7, Governor Ayedatiwa pledges collaboration with Benin Owena River Basin Development Authority on agricultural development in Ondo State. When the House of Assembly passes 2025 Osopadek Appropriation Bill into law, urges development of mandate areas. Borno Governor alleges collaboration between politicians, military figures on Boko Haram resurgence. And from the foreign scene, gunman kills 2 aides of Mexican mayor.
Good evening and warm welcome to Osrc News at 7. Kunle Ariyo is my name. The Ondo State government says it will support and collaborate with the Benin Owena River Basin Development Authority to boost agricultural production, improve water resource management, and promote youth involvement in agribusiness. Governor Loki Ayedatiwa spoke while receiving the management team of the authority led by its managing director, Olufemi Adekombi in Akure. The governor expressed optimism that the new leadership of the agency will make a meaningful impact despite the gap in achieving the original goals of river basin authorities. Government House correspondent Wahab Ankole reports.
At the governor's office in Akure, members of the Benin Owena River Basin Development Authority, led by Managing Director Femi Adekombi, met with Governor Loki Ayedatiwa to align on strategies for improving food sufficiency in Ondo State.
Good afternoon, Your Excellencies. Good afternoon, distinguished guests.
Adekombi congratulated Governor Ayedatiwa on his electoral victories and reaffirmed the agency's commitment to align with President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, particularly in addressing the national food security emergency. He highlighted the agency's interventions in the state, including the completion of major dams, erosion control projects, and concrete channelization works in Akure.
We seek to strengthen collaboration with our administration in the following critical areas: enhancing security across farming zones, expanding and rehabilitating irrigation infrastructure of farmland, supporting farmers with input and machinery, promoting agriculture as well as the Owena Dam, developing agro-processing oil to reduce post-harvest loss, and most importantly, Your Excellency, implementing our youth in agricultural initiative, aim at empowering the new generation through sustainable agricultural training and inclusive economic opportunities.
Governor Ayedatiwa expressed the readiness of his administration to partner with the agency in enhancing agricultural production, improving water resource management, and encouraging youth participation in agribusiness across the state. He says the government is providing targeted support for smallholder farmers through improved access to inputs, irrigation services, and infrastructure development. The governor also disclosed ongoing efforts to deliver clean, potable water to Akure and surrounding communities through a World Bank-supported water project using the completed Owena Dam. He emphasized plans to activate agribusiness initiatives in all government areas.
We are here to collaborate with you. Your office is in Benin, but you have a local office here in the state. So unfortunately, I've not gotten a brief from your state before now. I never even knew that you have an office in the state, but it's good to know that you have one. So now that we want to have presence in terms of farm in every local government within your mandate area. So the state office will be more active going forward. Even with my own instruction to all my 18 local government chairmen that they must break agribusiness. We're also trying to encourage our youth to go into farming, into agribusiness. In fact, we actually have an agency, Osrc, which is saddled with mobilizing, encouraging youth and even farmers in general into agribusiness. They should see agriculture not just self-subsistence only, that it can be a real business that they can invest in.
On land management, Aiyedatiwa acknowledged challenges of illegal occupation on the agency's lands due to years of neglect, but assures that his administration is open to negotiation. He proposed the creation of farming zones for displaced local farmers and promised engagement with traditional rulers to reclaim encroached assets for agricultural use. Wahab Bankwali, Osrc News.
The Ondo State House of Assembly has passed into law the 2025 appropriation bill of the State Oil Producing Areas Development Commission, Osrc. The bill, which has a balanced projection of over 33 billion naira, reflects the economic reality of the state and prioritizes inclusive development across all mandate areas. House of Assembly correspondent Omoshiliola Adesoyajaye now reports.
The passage of the 2025 Osrc appropriation bill was sequel to the presentation of the ad hoc committee reports. The bill estimated at 33,860,150,000 naira focuses on capital projects, empowerment and scholarship programs for residents of the mandate areas. Chairman of the committee and lawmaker representing SL the constituency, Uluwatoyin Allen, explained that the projected revenue of 40% of the 13% oil derivation fund is in tandem with the provisions for Osrc in the 2025 budget of Ondo State. Other lawmakers who spoke on the budget acknowledged the significant role of the Commission in maintaining peace in the coastal area of the state through implementation of various developmental projects. The Speaker, Olamide Oladichi, advised Osrc management to ensure equitable distribution of projects across all mandate areas. Then the budget was passed into law after a voice vote.
Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The bill of Osrc is now passed into law for the use of the good people of Ondo State. Thank you.
The 2025 Osrc appropriation law is expected to drive sustainable development, peace and economic inclusion in the oil-producing communities of Ondo State. Omoshiliola Adesoyajaye, Osrc News.
Nurses employed by the Ondo State Hospital Management Board have protested in Akure, seeking a solution of issues from the 2022 conversion exercise. The nurses under the Concerned Nurses of 2022 HMB conversion exercise platform are advocating for the replacement of the conversion policy with an upgrading system, especially for those who have gained additional qualifications. The nurses claimed the conversion process has led to demotion and professional stagnation, with some remaining on the same grade levels for 12 to 16 years, despite obtaining higher qualifications. They also raised concerns about a letter stating their next promotion will only be due in 2027, despite meeting requirements for the regular 2025 promotion cycle. The group appealed to Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa to intervene and implement key demands, including replacing conversion with upgrading. reclassifying those affected by the 2022 conversion as upgraded, compassionate upgrading for long-serving officers, and proper adjustment of degree nurses to the correct entry point. The Nigerian Senate has approved the establishment of the Federal University of Information, Communication and Technology, Ikaria Koko. The bill was sponsored by Senator Olajide Ipinshawa. The People's Democratic Party (PDP) Senators Caucus in Osun State has declared support and endorsement of President Bola Tinubu as its preferred candidate for the 2027 presidential election. In a joint statement signed by the Senator Kamaruddin Oyewumi, Senator Olubiyi Ajagunla, and Senator Francis Fadahunsi, the lawmakers expressed support for Tinubu's leadership and a second term in office. The endorsement followed a meeting on Tuesday where the senators unanimously backed the president, citing his track record in governance, economic reforms, and infrastructure development. They praised the president's administration's initiatives, noting visible improvements in national security and a notable reduction in food prices, which they described as evidence of the president's effective policies. The senators affirmed their pride in aligning with what they termed President Tinubu's visionary and progressive agenda. We'll now take a break now. When we come back, we'll give you more stories. Please do stay with us. We thank you for rejoining us. You are still watching the news on Osrc TV. You can watch us live on our website www.osrc.ng or follow us on Facebook at Osrc TV, and on YouTube you can subscribe to our channel Osrc TV Ondo. The rainy season is here again, and with it a warning spike in malaria cases. Experts say rise is linked to the ideal breeding conditions the season creates for mosquitoes, the primary carriers of the disease. Our correspondent Taiwo Adeumi reports.
Pools of stagnant water, a common sight during heavy rains, provide the perfect environment for mosquitoes to breed. According to the World Health Organization, Nigeria accounts for about 27% of global malaria cases and 32% of malaria-related deaths, a grim statistic made worse during the rainy season. Research indicates that areas with above average rainfall see a 30 to 40% increase in malaria transmission due to expanded mosquito breeding grounds. A medical practitioner, Dr. Olaoba Ado, highlights effective prevention strategies, including the use of insecticide-treated nets, indoor residual spraying, and proper drainage of stagnant water. These measures, he says, are essential in cutting down malaria risks, especially now.
This is the time that you have accumulation of water in the cans, bottles, jars, pots around the houses. Then when we have bushes as well, we have accumulation of water when rain falls on the leaves. So, and then the mosquitoes tend to breed on these places. So in order to prevent malaria, then you have to make sure that you remove conducive environment for mosquito. That means environmental management. In terms of waste management is very important.
Also, Dr. Michael Ojo emphasized the importance of parents and guardians ensuring that children sleep under mosquito nets and stay warm during the wet season. He warns that unless these simple steps are followed, the surge in malaria cases may overwhelm local health systems.
The mosquito are common during rainy season for obvious reasons. You know, in this part of the world, you have a lot of containers, useless container here and there, that contains little water from the rain, and this harbors those mosquitoes to breed. That's why you have a lot of them during this period. And when they breed, they have to be biting people here and there. If you know that, then it means what should we do to ensure that we have less of this thing? Apart from those places, they can even use ordinary, the spaces between, leaves and vegetables. So what we need to do is to ensure that our surroundings are very clear of all those debris.
A resident, Mr. Ayodeji, stresses that keeping the environment clean and disposing of waste properly can go a long way in stopping mosquitoes from breeding. He also calls for increased community sensitization, especially for children and vulnerable groups, as the rains intensify.
Minimize their activities on the streets. They go to school, back home, keep warm, stay indoors. And if the weather is good enough, if there is sunshine, then they can play outside and come back inside. I think with that, we can reduce the spread of malaria.
With the rainy season now in full swing, public health officials are urging communities to take proactive steps before preventable illnesses like malaria take a heavier toll. Adewumi Taiwo, Osrc News.
The Osun State Police Command says it is yet to receive an official communication on the escape of 7 inmates from the Medium Security Custodian Center in Ilesha, Osun State. Police spokesperson for the command, Abiodun Ojelabi, said the police state command has not been officially briefed or informed on the incident by the Nigerian Correctional Service. The Nigerian Correctional Service had declared 7 inmates missing as a result of rain that damaged the security perimeter of the Medium Security Custodian Center in Ilesha in the early hours of Tuesday. The heavy rainfall around 2 a.m. was said to have caused a breach in the facility's structure, allowing the inmates to escape. The Oyo State Police Command has announced the death of 14-year-old Kendi Aladen during a joint traffic enforcement operation with the Oyo State Traffic Management Authority. The incident occurred when the driver of a black Honda Accord, Oduanyo Aladen, was stopped for driving against traffic. Instead of complying, he sped towards the enforcement team, crashing into vehicles and breaking through barricades. A police chase followed, during which an officer fired a shot intended to disable the vehicle's tires, but tragically the bullet struck Kende, who was seated in the rear, leading to his death upon arrival at University College Hospital. Police Commissioner Johnson Adinola has ordered a full investigation into the incident, while the officer who fired the shot in custody and cooperating with investigators. The command expressed condolence to the family and assured the public of transparency and accountability. Also, the Gombe State Police Command has confirmed the arrest of 25 suspects in connection with the violence attack on the divisional police officer of Quantum Division, Adamu Alhaji Idi. The officer was reportedly assaulted by a group of suspected miscreants, popularly known as Kalari, while carrying out his duties in Kwantu town. The police public relations officer, Buhari Abdullahi, said the officer sustained serious injuries, including a deep wound to his forehead, and was rushed to the Federal Teaching Hospital, Gombe, where he is currently receiving treatment. The Commissioner of Police, Bello Yahaya, alongside the Deputy Commissioner of Police in charge of operations, visited Guandun to assess the situation. Abdullahi emphasized the command zero tolerance policy towards violence against police officers, warning that law enforcement will not hesitate to prosecute offenders. He urged residents of Guadun and the wider Gombe State community to remain law-abiding and cooperate fully with the police during the ongoing investigation. And still on security, Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum has alleged that some Nigerian politicians and members of the armed forces are acting as informants and collaborators for Boko Haram insurgents. Zulum made the revelation during an interview where he vowed that the state would strengthen its intelligence network and deal with saboteurs. Addressing the issue of surrendered insurgents, Zulum said that while not all who surrendered have reformed fully, the overwhelming majority are contributing positively. The governor reaffirmed the need for Nigeria to embrace both kinetic and non-kinetic strategies in tackling insurgency, noting that almost all repentant insurgents are no longer involved in terrorism. He stressed that military force alone would never bring about a total end to insurgency. Minister of Interior Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo says criminals on the red list of the international police were arrested at Nigerian airport. Tunji-Ojo also revealed that criminals declared wanted by various countries across Europe were arrested within 2 days at the point of entry the country. He said the arrest was made possible due to the heavy investment in surveillance and intelligence gathering equipment at the nation's border point. Tunji-Ojo made the statements at a regional workshop on maritime border security in Lagos State. The minister stated that the criminals originated from Italy, the Republic of Ireland, and a couple of other countries. I will go straight to the foreign scene now. The U.S. President Donald Trump says he selected a design for an ambitious project to shield the United States from next generation missile attacks. The so-called Golden Dome system would rely on space-based defense systems and comes with a huge price tag. Congress is considering whether to fund an initial $25 billion down payment for the project. Adeunmi Taiwo has more.
What we're doing today, I'm pleased to announce that
U.S. President Donald Trump says the Golden Dome visions for the United States would offer the country near 100% protection from a ballistic or hypersonic missile attack.
Once fully constructed, the Golden Dome will be capable of intercepting missiles even if they are launched from other sides of the world and even if they're launched from space. And we will have the best system ever built.
The system would combine sensors, interceptors, and command and control technologies to counter ballistic, hypersonic, and advanced cruise missiles. Its capabilities would detect and stop missiles at all 4 major stages of a potential attack, destroying them before they even begin to launch, intercepting them in their earliest stage of flight, stopping them in the middle of the strike path and the final minutes as they descend toward a target.
Our adversaries have been quickly modernizing their nuclear forces, building out ballistic missiles capable of hosting multiple warheads, building out hypersonic missiles capable of attacking the United States within an hour and traveling at 6,000 miles an hour.
Trump says he was inspired by Israel's Iron Dome system that has been able to effectively shield the country from missile attacks for many years. But unlike Israel's land-based system, the US Golden Dome would rely on previously untested technology.
We're separated from our adversaries by oceans. That's why they spend so much time and effort on international or continental ballistic missiles. So that is something that the United States has always had an issue with, in having a Golden Dome that works effectively could take away that concern. But it's going to cost an extensive amount of money.
Trump says the Golden Dome would cost $175 billion and be fully operational within 3 years. That's both vastly cheaper and faster than previous estimates, and many experts says it's unrealistic. But if funded and realized, the system could be a crowning achievement for Trump. Adewumi Taiwo, OSRC News.
2 aides to the mayor of Mexico City have been gunned down on the streets of the capital. Authorities believe they were shot by a gunman riding a bicycle. Mexico's president says the federal government would give the city all the support it needed to bring the killers to justice. Aderonke Kolawole has details.
The moment the Mexican president, Claudia Sheinbaum, got the message in the middle of a daily press conference, Mexico City mayor and an aide had been shot dead in broad daylight, not an hour before she absorbed what she had been told and spoke briefly.
We express our solidarity and support for the families of these 2 individuals who have worked in our movement for a long time. We know them, we stand with their families, and we will give her all the support the city needs from the Mexican government.
Afterwards, a brief CCTV video emerged. A man shooting through the car windscreen. Reports said he and an accomplice fled on a motorbike. Political killings are relatively rare in Mexico City, where violent killings has gone down in recent years. The reason for these ones are still unknown, but there are powerful criminal groups. The capital fighting for territory and the control of lucrative rackets. Politicians can get in the way as elsewhere in the country. Later, the city mayor Claudia Sheinbaum came out promising justice for her teammates.
Investigar, esclarecer.
Investigating, clarifying, and ensuring there is no impunity is our commitment.
After the grieving will come the attempt to find what happened and why. Aderonke Kolawole, OSRC News.
With that report, we have come to the end of the bulletin, but before we go on the news at 7, here again are some of the major stories. Governor Luke Aiyedatiwa has pledged that his administration will support and collaborate with the Benin-Owena River Basin Development Authority to boost agricultural production, improve water resource management, and promote youth involvement in agribusiness in Ondo State. The governor gave the assurance while receiving the management team of the authority, led by its managing director, Olufemi Adekombi, in Akure. The Ondo State House of Assembly has passed the 2025 Osopadek Appropriation Bill into law. The House urged the management of the Commission to continue to prioritize the development of its mandate areas. We also told you that Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum has alleged that some Nigerian politicians and members of the armed forces are acting as informants and collaborators for Boko Haram insurgents. And that's it on the news at 7. Thanks for joining us. Good evening.
Good.